I think it's fine.
It's okay? If you allow me, I want to record it.
Yes, that's fine. Okay.
Okay, give me allowance. All right. So it is really my pleasure to have you here in my Zoom meeting program.
Mm-hmm.
Really extraordinary pleasure for me to have you because you are like a library of Konso. Yeah, really, I couldn't express my feeling. I have super excited. So, oh yeah. So, can you
Yes,
introduce? Can you
I come.
introduce?
Sorry.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Go ahead. Well, I first came to the Konso in 1965, which is a long time ago, in the time of Haile Selassie, the emperor.
Yeah.
And it was a time when the Fitarari Tedessi was the governor. Uh, and I spent nearly 2 very happy years in Ethiopia and living with the Konso and learning about their culture.
Okay. Oh. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm sorry. I think I have bad
But
connection.
that's
What about right now? Can you hear me? So please, Professor, can you hear me right now?
I can hear you.
Thank you. So let me say a few words and we will proceed to our interview. Okay.
Yes.
So really, it is today. It's a special day for me as well as for the people of Konso because we have an honored guest among us, Canadian anthropologist Christopher Hallpike, Professor Christopher Hallpike, who have published more than 10 different books, including The Calms of Ethiopia and many articles. So we really appreciate your good response during our meeting on behalf of my project named Impulsha, as well as in the name of people of Konso. I would like to say welcome, really. So, having said this, my name is Samuel Taspaye, and I am 26 years old. In very recent time, me and one of my friends named Jonas Corvaido, we had established or we have started one movement called Impulsha. Impulsha means consort, which give us in English, it means I'm gonna change. First, I'm gonna change my community, Konso, and then my neighbors, then Ethiopia, then Africa, then as well as going to all part of the world. So by God's grace, we did a number of tasks for last 1 year. We gave different motivational speakers, the different motivational speech trainings, starting from students to the uh, zonal governmental officials. And then we trained about more than 2,000 people, and we tried to did some charity tasks. Again, we plant trees, so on. Yes, right now here I am working here in Addis Ababa, so I am a bit far from my homeland from Konso. So I kept my project via online, via live. So I have a live stream program platform in my Telegram channel. So I'm going to invite different guests from different parts of the world so that they can come to my channel and share their experience. So today is this an extraordinary, really. I don't know. It's this. I'm so happy to have you here because today you are our guest. Uh, so I want to ask you a few questions. First of all, I think some of my guests they are joining our room, so it's better if you can introduce yourself. I think you are hearing me right now.
Yes.
Sure, yeah. So we can proceed. Who is Christopher? Who is Professor Christopher Hallpike?
You want me to talk about myself, do you?
Yes.
Yes. I'm an anthropologist. I came to Ethiopia in 1965 to live with the Konso people and to study their culture, which I'd been told about by a great explorer, a chap called Wilfred Thesiger, who was born in Ethiopia. And he showed me pictures of the Konso and I thought I'd very much like to come and live with them and find out all about their culture. So I spent about getting on for 2 years living with them. Lived in a number of different places, Buso and Garfo and Idigli and among others, and Tura. And the Konso were very hospitable, and all the people I knew wanted to help me and tell me about their culture, which they did. And as a result of that, I wrote a book which was published in 1972 called The Calms of Ethiopia. When I came back in 1997, after the communists had been expelled, and I spent about 3 months again with the Konso. This time I was able to talk to a number of people who had good English and could tell me very quickly what had previously working in the Konso language had taken me a long time to discover. And so I came across a whole new lot of material about the Konso, and I published a second edition of my book in 2008, which contains a lot more material than the first one. And if you want to read my books, the second one is the one to read. The first one, the first edition, is out of date in many ways. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time. 2 of the best years I've ever spent. Fascinating people who were very kind and hospitable, and extremely interesting. Yeah. I said to them, they said to me, "Why have you come to live here?" So I said, "Well, in my country there are wise men who are interested in all the peoples of the world, and I'm here to write about, tell them about the Konso. But I said also, I hope that in generations to come, your grandchildren will know how you lived and what sort of people you." And they thought that was a very good idea. And I'm glad to say that what I hoped has come true. And obviously, your generation of the Konso are very interested to read about your grandparents.
Wow! This is really a good thing to hear, because you receive promise from our grandfathers that you're going to write a book that telling about how our ancestors were lived. So right. I think it is good for both of us, because it's interesting. So my next question could be, how many countries did you travel for your archaeological work? Because
the only other country I visited, I spent a couple of years in Papua New Guinea, which is absolutely different. And a very, very different kind of country altogether.
Okay.
So that's, and then of course I am both British and Canadian.
Cool, interesting. So I'm sorry, I think my connection bit disturbing. I have here a bit bad connection. Yeah. So, how many books did you write, Professor Christopher?
I think I've written about 15 now, something like that, of one sort or another.
You have written about 15, and how many articles?
Oh, I don't know. It depends what you call an article. Many dozens.
Oh, all right. Interesting. Please.
I never counted them up.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry, but can you remove your cape so that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. The reason is I have the glare of the light coming in on me.
All right. Oh, okay. So you can read it. I'm sorry. You can read it again. Yeah. So, what initiated you to write about the Konso of Ethiopia?
Well, when I was studying in Oxford, we all had to go out and do field work. Which meant going out and living with real people instead of just reading books. And so my professor at Oxford knew the famous explorer called Wilfred Thesiger, and he was born in Ethiopia, had traveled all over it. And I went to his house. I thought they were extremely fascinating, with the walled towns and the terraces and the waga. So I thought, well, I'd really like to go and live with these people. They seem extremely interesting. So that's how I came to study the Konso.
Okay, that initiated you to write about the Calms of Ethiopia.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, can you say something about your books?
Well, I've written two books, or two and a half. I've written two editions about the Konso. Then I've written another one about about social evolution. In other words, how society is complicated, starting off with hunter-gatherers, and then more complicated societies, and ending up with states. And so that was my book, Principles of Social Evolution. And then I've written a number of others as well. I could get you some. Yeah. Yes. That's, yeah. You can see.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. Yeah.
And that's one about my field work in Ethiopia and Papua New Guinea.
Okay.
That's Papua New Guinea. And then this is a book. It won't interest you much. It's called Ship of Fools. It's about various academics who've written stupid things about the Konso and other societies, in which I attack them. Sorry, a different one. Do we need God to be good?
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much again. Really, it's an honor to have you. I have some of guests from Konso as well as from different parts of Ethiopia, even though they were from Konso. So
Yeah.
I will give the chance for them later, and then they will ask you some questions. But let me add some questions. And do you have any memory in Konso that you never forget in your life?
Oh, I think many of my days in Konso I'll never forget. My first house, the Pafka in Moragomaya at Buzo, my first house, living in that for 6 months, and then living with Sagaragaya in his compound. I spent 3 months living with him and his family, and then going up to live at Gaho, where I had a chance to see the Ufa's homestead, which I think is no longer there. The ceremonies, the sacrifices, all of these were fascinating experiences. And as I say, I will always remember my time there. There are too many different experiences to single out enough of them, really.
Good, interesting. So I think it's better now. Can you hear me, Professor?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I think it's better if I can give chance for the audience, so that they may write some questions, because even we have some of our government officials here among us. So I think it's better if I give for Solomon first. Solomon, ይሰማሃል? የሚሰማ ከሆነ መግባት ትችላለህ።
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
There is a background noise. I'm staying at home today.
Okay.
So thank you, Professor, for having you today here with us. And it was fascinating hearing that you have written about our nation, the Konso people, long back, that we can read about our ancestors. The question I have for you is that having the global experiences in many places, what unique things and features have you find about the Konso people that you think can serve humanity?
I think there were two features of the Konso which struck me. First of all, they were incredibly hardworking. They were really tough people, and they lived a very hard life. But they got on with things, and they built these amazing stone terraces over hundreds of years. They built the wonderful walled towns. That was the first. So their incredible hard work was the first thing that would strike me. And the second thing is how good-humored they were. Despite all the hardships they had, they were always cheerful, always optimistic. And I think that's something, two lessons which the rest of the world could learn from the Konso.
Wow, amazing. So it is very, again, great hearing that the Konso people can contribute to humanity regarding the hardworking, irrespective of whatever natural and human challenges there be, and at the same time being cheerful and being contentful with whatever they have. That is really amazing. Have you get a chance to visit visit Konso in a new era? I mean, after the fall of the Derg regime.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. When last have you visited, and what difference have you seen in Konso?
I came back in 1997 for a few weeks, and I was very much struck. First of all, by the tremendous changes physically. When I went there in 1965, it was very hard to get there by Land Rover. When I came back in 97, there were major roads. There were a huge amount of trucks delivering and taking away goods. There was even a telephone system which occasionally worked, which is an astonishing change. Another major difference was Karat town, whereas when I was there was just a little settlement of Bakauli. At Karat town, you have for the first time a modern center of government, a center of schooling, a center of administration, which is an absolutely major innovation in Konso life. So those are the things I particularly noticed.
Okay.
Also, the thing I also noticed was that the Gada system had pretty well collapsed, and that was a very major social change from the time when I was there, when it was a very important institution.
So, what advices do you have for the current generation to keep the past, and what kind of innovations or what kind of value additions do you think the current the generation should do in order to leave another footprint for humanity, just like our ancestors?
Well, I think I think you probably are doing this already, is to have a cultural center where you could display your traditional crafts, the things particularly the waka, with an explanation for all these things, and so that visitors to the Konso will have a good idea, and also your generation coming along will appreciate your your ancestors. Do you know that there is a museum in Britain called the Pitt Rivers Museum, and all my photographs of the Konso are online there, and you can simply look them all up. I don't know if you know that, but there's about 1,500 pictures or so, or 2,000 pictures of your traditional way of life, and I think that you should do as much as you can to make those accessible. I know that there have been other visitors who also have taken photographs, but mine's a particularly large collection. And as I say, find some have some sort of cultural centre where you can display all this information, not only for visitors but for your younger generation.
Thank you. I don't know the museum in British. I will try to find out and get those pictures if you have, and
Yes.
if you can share the pictures also, we can
you
get from you.
I will give you the I'll give
The
you
link is
I'll give you the email address of
okay.
and then you can do it immediately. You don't have to come through me.
Okay.
It is www.
Yazunam.
Right, PRM. PRM, yes, Papa Romeo.
PRM, sorry.
PRM, yeah.
Okay.
Dot. OX. Dot. AC.
AC.
Dot UK. Slash. Collections.
Collections.
Yeah. www.prm.ox.ac.uk
slash collections.
Yes.
All right. Well,
collections.
Yeah.
If you fill that in,
so
you will be able to get directly to my photographs. You may want to tell the Pitt Rivers who you are, because they'll give you special privileges.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. So my name is Solomon Soka. I didn't introduce myself. I am currently the member of parliament representing the Konso people in federal government.
Yes.
I am also a deputy director general for Information Network Security Administration here in federal government.
Yes.
It is a very pleasure to meeting you and having a conversation with you like this, and thank you for giving us time and sharing us your experience.
Well, thank you very much for listening and your invitation to partake. I never imagined all those years ago, 1965, that I would be having this kind of conversation. It would be possible technically to do that. So it's a great pleasure for me.
Thank you very much. I think I have to give it a chance to other friends of mine, but I really would like to thank you on behalf of the Konso people.
Oh, pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you, His Excellency, Mr. Solomon Soka. And now I would like to give the chance for anyone who's interested. He can open his mic. He can talk. I think Kambro Gacha.
Can I continue?
Yeah, you can continue. All right, Kambro, introduce yourself and then go ahead. Okay.
Okay, Samuel. Thank you very much for creating this wonderful occasion.
Okay.
I am very, very happy to see the face of Professor Hallpike. It's like getting connected to the old, our great grandfathers, whose work has been documented, and I am very appreciative of your work, Professor. It's a very, very honor to have someone like you to get interested into the past history of Konso, which we slightly hear from our grandfathers.
Sorry, let me intervene, Professor. Sorry.
That's fine.
Come,
Okay.
earphone taffnol. Okay, is it? Okay, say.
Hello.
Oh yeah, we can hear you right now.
Can I be heard now?
No, yes, now.
Can I continue?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah.
Okay, better. Okay. My short question is just like the CADA system of Konso, if it is included in the study of Professor Hallpike, does it have some attributes that resemble the modern party system in terms of representation? Taking the only Konso community, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think the fundamental right. We say that the data system was in some ways basically democratic. We all start as young men. We get older, and we end up as elders. Everyone goes through those stages. Whatever your clan, whatever your lineage, you all go through those stages. And so it is, in that sense, the gather system is democratic. That's for sure. The difference is that it's dividing the society up in terms of generations. The grandfathers, the sons, and the grandsons. In that sense, that is quite unlike parties, which don't divide people by what generation they're in. It's simply what opinions they have about how society should be governed. So in that sense, it's not like a party system. It's fundamentally different.
Great.
Good.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Anyone has any new question or idea? You are very welcome.
Can I say something?
Oh, you're welcome. Okay.
All right. How are you? How are you guys? Thank you very much. I just behind, but no worry. I'm just here, and I would like to thank Professor. I just got his material yesterday. I was really looking for that stuff, and Sami was giving me yesterday, and I didn't get time to go through, but it was so wonderful. And actually, I'm living here in Ireland in Cove. Maybe I'm the nearest person to Professor, so I'll keep contacting him hereafter. All right? Is that okay, Professor?
Sounds fine. While I'm talking to you, I would like to mention my old friend Cora Gara, who was extremely helpful to me, and you'll find in my new book a lot of his material, which I quote, and he made a very important contribution to Konso studies, and I'd just like to mention his name. I think he is no longer with us, is he?
He's not here, but I know him. Actually, I'm from Konso too, and I am the youngest generation in Konso, but I didn't reach out to your staff before, but I will take my time and then go through it. So, like I said, I'm living in Ireland at the moment. I'm just here at my office. I'm working with Amazon, but so I think I reach out to you sometimes.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much for having time with us, and then it's really interesting, very proud moment of here, like to be connected with some of the knowledge is on the way to be lost, and some because of modernization, some culture has been eradicated. But it needs to be re-updated with a young generation, especially those of your books has to be there in the local library, which will be helpful for the young generation, to be honest.
Yes, I think
yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate for you that. Yeah.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Bye. Anyone else, please? Anyone who want to say something?
Actually, Sami, professor was asking about Father Korra Garra. He is still there.
Yes.
He's getting old, of course, but his energy is still there, and he's also a moving library in Konso. He's one of profound and very respected fathers Konso has currently. And we are also referring to Father Korra Garra.
Yeah.
Whenever we need any information related our ancestors and the Konso history.
Yes, he is a great expert. He's a great expert. Yes.
Yeah.
He's
So
very good
it's very great to hear that he has contributed to your books, and we can really keep in touch with him. His son, I don't know if he's available on the call, but we will give him an assignment to drill in more. He is also a scholar, one of the scholars Konso has. He's in our generation, and we will do lots of researches on your works, Professor.
Good.
Yeah.